And when I was teaching and directing quite a bit with kids, that was a word I could always make a class crack up with. If I'd say, now don't be a ninny, they just, they thought that was great. And it's in Alice in Wonderland. I've directed that show a few times and choreographed it. And there's a specific line where one of the cards marches forward and says, don't be such a ninny. And it always gets a huge laugh just because ninny is funny like pickle. It's a scientific study. Pickle is funny.
I would like to change my word to titmouse.
Crazy, it's not a word. Nuclear. It is not a word. Okay.
Thank you.
But anything nuked, nuclear, nuktacious, right? That's a word?
What?
It's disgusting. Whatever. Nuke.
So you don't use microwaves on it.
Not anymore.
I have two answers to this, and one of them, there are very few words that alone that are inherently offensive to me, because words are just words, and it's all about who's saying them and why and the context.
Yeah.
Contextually, I hate the way most people use the word gay. Drives me insane.
Oh, God.
That's so gay. If I overhear it in a public place, from a conversation going on between two strangers, I will intervene and be like, and by that you mean it's awesome, right? And it's because it's becoming so widespread. There's this trend in like the past decade I have noticed where people will try to take normal everyday sounding words and add useless syllables to them and make completely fictive words that make no sense at all, like conversate.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you can't conversate. You can have a conversation or you can converse. The 8 doesn't have to be there. And you try to explain that to people and they're like, no, that's a brand of shoe. You're like, no! Never mind. Go back to your little great
Along the same lines, irregardless. Find it in the dictionary. I just hate that word.
I can't handle that. Two. All right. So, two different things. When people misuse the word two. There's two.
I'm with you on that one.
There's two.
Yes.
And there's two.
Okay.
Like,
There are 3.
it does, right? Like, come on. Like, didn't you? I did. You know.
Honestly, I am convinced that nobody knows how to properly spell the word there.
Really, Facebook does it really well.
Ooh, I'm so angry. Trina smash.
I have to tell the story when they're done. This made me think of it.
What's the other one? I forgot.
The other one makes her so mad.
I just forgot. That's the your thing in particular is a huge thing for me. I'm like, oh my gosh, you got another one along the same vein is supposedly.
Oh, that's not a word. That's not a word.
Supposedly.
There is no P in supposedly.
Yeah.
That must be a Southern thing.
I take it out of scripts when
Wow.
other people write them.
And they're writers.
Yeah.
It's not a word.
I went to school with someone who made up a word dramatically. He's like, did my grade just drop dramatically? I'm like,
It did now.
Maybe this word is too.
No, it was redonkulous.
It was redonkulous. I use redonkulous just because it's funny sometimes.
It's like meme craptastic.
No, I was just going to say this.
Yeah, please, you have
I love this story, and I look like such an ass when I tell it, but this is how strict I am with people in like emails, especially in a professional setting. I mean, we all write or have to work with scripts, things like this for a living, and so you learn to, my God, come on, we have the internet. If you don't know how to spell something, look it up. It's so easy now. We used to have to lug gigantic tomes down off the shelves and entries. And God, and now it's like you just type it in and it'll Google correct it for you, for God's sake. So like, no excuse for your, there, two.
Oh, stop,
You're just
stop.
an imbecile and you're lazy, and two. But so I was, and I won't go into great detail about what happened, but suffice it to say that I was owed an apology from someone with whom I had a professional relationship. That was not very good. This person sent me an apology, which first of all, was the kind of apology that's not an apology. These sort of like, oh, well, we're sorry you feel this way.
Oh, I hate those.
Which is
I
like,
hate those.
sorry it's your fault, and sorry we just got mixed up in this crazy thing called your ridiculous perception.
Oh.
Which is essentially what they're saying, but they're trying to make it sound nice. But that wasn't what bothered me the most. The most is that, here this is supposed to be this professional business, apology letter, and it is loaded with errors like your, all that stuff. So, and it was an email, and because I was so just ornery and mad,
You
fuming,
corrected it.
I saved it into a Word document. I tracked
Oh, you
changes.
had to.
I graded it. My notes were longer than the damn letter. Sent it back, and I said something to the effect of, I appreciate your effort to mollify me, but it is my personal policy not to accept apologies from people who cannot at least make a C- on a first grade. Surprisingly, I never heard from them again.
You absolutely won that argument.
I like to think they took their computer and just threw it. Never mind, I am now bowing out of ever speaking to any other human
Who
being
was
again.
it?
I'm not gonna say.
It couldn't have been a producer.
No. It wasn't nothing like that. My God, no.
Right?
The producers can say you're there all they
All
want.
you want.
Yeah.
Please,
You
please
just
sir,
sort
may
of-
I have another?
You just grind your teeth. Yeah, you just grind
Well,
your teeth
because
down
after the
points.
there comes check.
I say sign, no problem.
As long as they don't spell my name wrong on the
Gotcha,
here's
yeah.
the cash line. then I'm
Pay
like,
for the order of, there you go. All right, what sound or noise do you love? These are not my questions.
People are like, dirty.
Oh, me? I like the corny, obvious stuff, chimes and the sound of water. I like having a water element in my garden somewhere, that zen factor is beautiful. I love that. Are we talking just what we like?
Yes, we're going to
Just
move
what
on
we
to
like.
8 afterwards.
And I like, yes you can when I ask questions. Can I have a raise? Yes you can.
Can I die from doing this? Yes, you can.
Or will you die for me? Yes,
Yes,
you
you
will.
will.
Yeah. Yes, I like yes.
Sound is very important to me. It's kind of my eyesight has never been terribly good, and so sound has always been just kind of part of how I kind of navigate through the world, And I have slight bit of what's called synesthesia, where you associate various senses together. So sounds, especially musical tones like that, come in colors and smells and things like that. So it's really interesting tapestry of sound. So I love sound in general, but my favorite sound in the world is a thunderstorm about 30 miles away. Like when it's just on the way. There's nothing like it, especially in Texas, because those thunderstorms are gigantic. And when they're about 30 miles away, there's just a certain sound in the air with this occasional thunder. Oh my God, I love it. That's just poetry.
I like acoustic music. Strings, especially acoustic guitars and electric, not so much. But I mean, I like it, but acoustic music I can't even listen to it if I need to concentrate on anything else, because it just takes me away. So that's.
Nice. Tony's quite a musician, so that makes perfect sense. Yes.
My favorite noise is the sound of my siblings, mom, and family in general, like laughing. Like on holidays and stuff, like when you have to, like, it's like, oh my gosh, we forgot the blah, somebody has to go to the store and get the blah, and like you come back and like you hear everyone laughing, and it's like, oh, everyone's having a good time or they're drunk. Like either way, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be good. Good holiday.
I
Good
always have a
holiday.
good time when I'm not home. I
Good time, but I repeat myself.
I can't think of one particular noise. I mean, I love sound so much. But maybe the sound of my cat purring.
Aww.
He's big and snuggly, and he'll purr, and I love him. I miss him.
Jackson? Is his name Jackson?
His
Yeah.
name is Jackson. He's fabulous.
It's really cute that you just awed yourself. You're like, oh.
My favorite sound is one that I associate from a lot of childhood memories of I grew up in Hawaii, And so a lot of times we'd go camping on the beach and everything. And my favorite sound is the sound of low tide on the beach, with like just enough of the wind rustling the palm trees and birds singing. It's very beautiful.
Aww.
And then
You
now
just,
everyone
you
wants
just
to
took
kill
me to a place of relaxation.
Yeah, me too. I'm
It's so
here.
tranquil in this room right now.
And then a hobo was like, Hakuna Matata! And then the moment's over and you're like, all right, we're going home. You can have your luau on the beach, Mr.
All right, what sound or noise do you hate?
Sound of hatred.
Yeah, like that.
Or like arguments and just, you know, that kind of negative sort of sounds, yeah.
Oh, for me, there'd be two things. There'd be Call of Duty. Sorry, guys, and my boyfriend plays it till like 4 o'clock in the morning, and it's hard to go to sleep, and it sounds like your house is exploding. And then the other one is, on the same note, he's also an audio engineer, and when he comes home to clean things, what they do to clean all the noises and pops that you hear is they have to listen to the same line over and over. So what you'll hear is, I don't want to.
I don't think it's so much that you hate the sound of it. It's like, finish the line already.
Make it stop, make it stop, make it stop.
The sound of hate, 100%. Like the sound of hate or bigotry or stupidity. When somebody's like, blah, 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 like it's all right, man. Blah, blah, blah. Like I don't really feel like that's. Listen, bro. Like I'm a fairly like everyone live and let live and all be fine. Like I'm kind of an idiot most of the time. You're kind of an idiot most of the time. Like don't impede my freedoms. I won't mess with yours, bro. But like if you keep yelling, I'm going to have to take you down. I don't want to embarrass you in front of your friends. You know, I hate it when people yell like bigoted statements or hateful statements or stuff like that. Cause like I don't think that's necessary. I don't yell like I yell. And I don't yell like that. Like I feel like it's just like noise that the world doesn't need. You know, like you should have the freedom to do so. But when you're offending someone else, like my ears, not okay.
With me, it's metal on metal.
Oh.
And the example that I use is in Men in Black, when Will Smith grabs the table and moves it across. I just thought I was just gonna crawl out of my skin.
That's
hate that.
We just saw that again.
There's a lot of hateful noises out there. I could go with all their answers. The great Thomas Jefferson once said, "The very definition of a gentleman is he who knows how to play the accordion but does not." And I agree with that as I got older. The sound of the accordion or the friggin' bagpipes. It is because there's so much Scotch. Oh, who said no? And they're beautiful. Yeah. Lovely. Just what I want to be buried with. Thank you. Please. It brings a tear to my eye. That's not emotion. That's like physical tears being brought, making your eyes burst out of your head. I hate really shrill instruments like that get used all the time in settings where you're like, well, I was having a wonderful time in this French cafe until this jerk came along. So those are the things that immediately come to mind: bagpipes and accordions.
The high school in the town I live in, they are West Milford. They're the Highlanders.
That was my high school, not
They
in
have
California.
a bagpipe section in their marching band.
A section? There's one? Is it loud enough?
And you know what? They take so much time, because they know how awful it can be, they take so much time getting these guys tuned up and playing perfectly that it actually sounds amazing. When they're walking down the front of the field with the band behind them, they're leading the band in. It's really just...
I know
when
if
they're
you're British,
played right,
it makes
it's
you
great.
wet yourself. And run.
Every afternoon at 3 o'clock, the bagpipers would walk through the school heading out to the field to practice, and they would play the school song as we were going. So I had that every afternoon.
There's this really, really lovely park where I live that has like a 6-mile trail, and I walk it a lot, and it's just fun. It's beautiful out there. There's all sorts of critters and owls and nature nature, and I love to be close to nature.